recording. So you guys take it off.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to our Wednesday night connection call with our United Nations. We are so excited to be with you guys as we wrap up our last week in June. I hope many of you are closing the gap on where you want to be on June 30th and are working towards those goals that you have in hand, because you are worth it and you can do it. I love this. This is my favorite actual week of the whole month, because you get to see different things come together that you've been pressing on and working through for the entire month. So stay steadfast in your end of month goals so that you can all be celebrated whenever that calendar turns over to July. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm independent consultant, executive national vice president Tammy Clinton. I am your host tonight, and we have with us a very special guest. The founder's son, Morck, is in the house tonight. So we are so excited, so honored to get to be with him. We are actually going to do an interview format. I'm going to ask Stian some questions, and I actually pulled some of the MVPs and said, what are some of the questions that we should ask Stian? So we're going to just have some fun with you tonight, Stian, and let you just share some different things with us, for not only us that have been in the business a while to refreshen our vision and our excitement about the future, but also for those new consultants that are just now joining and are just now figuring out what Arbonne is all about. So hopefully some of the questions that we have to go through tonight help everybody see a vision of what we have and where we're going. So Stian, thank you. I want to start us off and say that your father, Peter Morck, the founder of Arbonne, created this amazing company 38 years ago. And some of us that have been in the business have heard lots of heartwarming, just incredible stories about the man that you call Dad. And I would love for you, because I know obviously Arbonne's been in your life the whole time that it's been, developed by your father and so forth. I would love for you to share, Stian, what you feel like your father's vision was 38 years ago. What was his intent behind that? And then also kind of share some of the stories of your dad and different consultants, because I would love for you to let us get to know your dad.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so very much. Thank you for asking me to be on your every Wednesday call. I love that you call it United Nations, because we're united and lots of nations, and I can see there's 3 pages of consultants on today, so I think that's wonderful. Where to begin? That was, so I have to tell everyone I did get the questions in advance, so I could actually prepare myself a little bit. Thank you, Tammy, for sending them to me. So before I talk about maybe the vision, I want to maybe share a little bit about my father and who he was and what he stood for. And I would encourage each and every one of you that are on the call and anyone you might talk to ask to reach out to some of the more senior consultants, more tenured consultants in Arbonne, because they met him and they have their own stories. And when I was thinking about what stories are there, I almost drew a blank. I mean, for me, it's more of a feeling. It's more of I have many stories, but if you get me going, I'll find them. But for me to talk about the vision, what he wanted to do with Arbonne, for me, I think it's important to understand who he was as a person and who he was, what I saw. And I grew up with him. Obviously, he raised me. He was a great dad. But for me, I just saw him, and the example that he set for me and what he did around me and everyone else is I think is what and he always did this. It wasn't just something about Arbonne. It was his life. It was who he was. And so I wrote down some thoughts, and one of the things, and all those that knew him, and maybe those that didn't know him, you'll know this in your heart, that this is how it was. But he was extremely generous. He was generous in all kinds of ways, and he was very kind. And he would literally give his shirt off his back to someone that needed it. And he did that. He literally did that in many different ways. But he was very kind and very generous. And I think that's an important thing. So he wanted sort of to give what he had to others. Another thing too that I think is important to understand with him is that he had very high expectations of people. He didn't want to settle for averages at all. So he had very high expectations, and if you can imagine, that wasn't always easy to be his child or his family and his friends and his co-workers. He had high expectations, and he wanted people to step up. And it wasn't because he wanted more out of people, but it's because he wanted people to sort of dedicate themselves. So he had high expectations, and the people that persisted and didn't give up, those are the people that he, even if they didn't make it work, if they kept going, that was very, very important to him. And then those people, those who kind of didn't just follow and just, try to be what they thought that others wanted them to be, but those people that just kind of did their own thing, the people that were themselves and chose their own way, he was attracted to. He thought that was really, really good. So he was very fascinated by people. And one of the things, and for those of you that met him, when you talked to him and he looked at you, it was like he looked deep inside you. And he would find things that, maybe see things in yourself that you didn't even realize you had yourself. So he was very fascinated by people, and in particular things that made people different, that people that stood out. That was something that he really enjoyed. So going sort of back to then what his vision was, it very simply, I think it was really to make, to change the world, to make the world a better place, really, quite simply. And he wrote a statement of purpose, which in 1979, which we still look at today. And it talks about, how he wanted Arbonne to be the vehicle to change people's lives. And that was through the product. It was through the opportunity, an opportunity where people could grow in all kinds of different ways. And eventually it was about what this group of people growing, coming together, United Nations, what that community could do together to give back and share. And so that was his vision, was really, I believe, to change the world. And, when I think about this, and it's so nice to see so many familiar faces. I mean, and I know that the United Nations is from all over the world, probably. At least I can tell there's some here from not even from Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Success Lines immediately, at least. So I'm happy to see so many of you, and many of you I've known over the years. And I think that the vision that he created, that he saw for all of us, is represented in many of you that's on the call today. So, for example, Melanie, I haven't seen you. I think you might be on. Melanie, you are a single mom. You're an amazing lady, an amazing consultant. And I know that we've talked many times how you want freedom, you want more time, and you want to be able to have that income potential that you deserve. And instead of working for someone else, and I know you've had some amazing journey in the corporate side, but you want to own your own business. And that is an example. You know, if he could change one person's life, that was what he wanted to do. So, you know, Melanie created Arbonne for You. Kimberly Skiles, you've been in Arbonne for more than 10 years. And through Arbonne and through your activities with Arbonne, you have shown your child what it means to stay with it and be persistent. And you built a team by yourself, with support, but by yourself. And I can't imagine a better gift to the next generation than to show the example of what Arbonne can be, or what you can do as a person, as an individual, when you have a purpose. And you're one of the top area managers in all of Arbonne. And I think that's amazing. And he created Arbonne for You. And Christine, for all of the Christine Clevelands out there, Christine, you are so close to National Vice President. I know you've been so close for so long. It's so good. And you know, you love people and you want to give more. And by giving more, you are going to be a National Vice President. It's just a matter of time. And then from that, you can set up, you get everyone set. You can get your grandchild set up and the future generation set up. And my dad, he created Arbonne for You. And I think that is amazing, because Arbonne is about individual people. It's about people. You know, one thing he used to say many times, I'm sure you heard it 100 times or more, he said that when you make women millionaires, you change the world. And that's what he wanted to do. So he wanted to change the world, and he's doing that. He did that through his vision in Arbonne. It's so simple and it's so beautiful, and it was his life work, and he was, till the very, very end, completely enamored and in love with Arbonne and everything it stood for. That was a long answer, Tammy. Tammy, can you hear me? Back to you, Tammy. Tammy, maybe we lost you. Okay, well, can I read the next question that she sent me?
She asked, you know,
Tammy?
Sion, are you there? Sorry.
I'm here.
In and out.
I know, you're in stormy Oklahoma.
I know. I tell you what, Sion, I've heard, you know, over the last 14 years, lots of stories of your dad too. And one in particular, I believe it was Donna Riling that said to me, she's a pioneer. She's been in the business over 20 years, but she one of the that your dad put playing with her family and her setting down. Do you know who your mother is?
Elsa.
Tammy, you are up.
Okay, your dad said he was sitting there.
Hey, Tammy, your internet is cutting up really bad. Tammy.
The plane. And it is, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm fighting internet a little bit. Can you hear me now? Still bad?
That's better, but it's really bad at times for a long time. So
okay, is this better?
Yes. Maybe
we'll hit some streams. All right, so Stian, I was talking about your dad.
Sorry, Tammy.
He was on a plane sitting down, and the Arbonne team was doing.
Tammy's not working.
Right,
we'll have to get Donna Railing on the call and have her tell the story, because Donna Railing. Tammy, we can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Hey, Stian, why don't you go ahead, if you know the questions, go ahead and through the questions because we can't understand what she's saying.
I know, Tammy, sorry, but thank you for sending me the questions in advance. And then so I would recommend Donna Railing, who's one of our most amazing national vice presidents. And my dad was very close with Donna and with her husband Jim. And what wonderful stories. So get her on and tell some of those stories. But tell me, the question you sent me is that you asked me if I could talk about, if you've noticed, can you talk about what you have noticed about people who grow their Arbonne business to each level? And that's a great question. Because, you know, over the years, I've been in Arbonne almost, I think, 30 years. And I've just met a lot of consultants, district managers, area managers, RVPs and NVPs over the years. And what I love so much is that how it always sort of changes, it evolves. But what can I say? There's a couple of things that stand out, a couple of people that do stand out that I want to sort of mention. Lisa Usselton, you did something really amazing. I mean, very few people can race through and become an RVP in the time that you did it. I think, in fact, you did it as fast as is possible. You became an RVP in 4 months. You hit that Mercedes-Benz rank in 4 months. And I know how that gave you confidence. And I know you'll be a national vice president. But it was the belief in people around you that made that happen so quickly. You believing in people made people believe in you and in Arbonne, and it made it possible. So that is an amazing story of how I've noticed how people have done amazing, wonderful things and grown in Arbonne. Vicky Schallhorn, you have a kind of an approach to business, to Arbonne. And in a way that we just love and adore, because you are just steady, you're steadfast, and your love for helping others shines through. And you have this most important mentality, I think, which is you have to embrace the journey. It's not about getting there, it's about the journey. And what I tell every national vice president that I speak to that are brand new, it's like, you think you may have gotten there. Yeah, you got to national vice president, but it's just begun. It has just begun. The journey in Arbonne is a never-ending journey. We'll never quite get there. It's what I believe, and I think you've embraced that, Vicky. And I think that's something that I think is an important lesson in life. We have to live each and every single day because we're on this amazing journey called life here on Earth.
Hey, Stian.
Yes.
I have Tammy on speaker now, so she can chat with you now too via phone, and it'll probably be a better connection. So there's more than one way we can do this. We make it work.
I love it. I love how we're so resourceful. And I want to just add. So one other, is for all the Sherry Browns that we have in Arbonne. Constantly learning and growing and never giving up and building your mind, building your heart, building the skills is just, it's so wonderful. And it just shows that you're a lifer in Arbonne. We hear that all the time. I'm a lifer, and you are a lifer, Sherry. You want to be the best that you can be. And that's one thing I've noticed about NVPs is that, you grow. By growing yourself, you grow your business, and I am fortunate because I get to meet a lot of new regional vice presidents and new national vice presidents and just existing top leaders in Arbonne, and that is the one thing that everyone has in common is how everyone have experienced sort of growth. They look back and they can't even believe where they came from, and where they have arrived. And so don't underestimate the importance of minding your mind, as Rita Davenport would say. Take care of your mind and grow in your mind. And I know that when you do that, if you persist, you will become a national vice president. So these are some of the things that I've learned over the years being in Arbonne. But there are countless consultants, countless wonderful stories and examples, but those are just some. Tammy?
So Stian, hopefully you can hear me now.
I can hear you.
Donna, I want to tell you that a lot about the history of your dad and just the vision and so forth comes out in people, and how he put so much emphasis on people. The Donna Riley story that I was telling was when she had just been in Arbonne a little bit. She had won a trip and she was boarding a plane, and your father was sitting in one of the seats already. He saw her coming in with her children and her husband, and he stopped the children and he said, "Do you know who your mother is?" And they were like, "Uh-huh." And he said, "She's a district manager in Arbonne. Aren't you so proud that she worked hard to get you this trip?" And Donna talked about how he was constantly always just lifting people up in front of everybody else. And those are just some amazing stories, and I've just heard countless ones over the years. But Stian, as you've seen the company evolve, what changes for the better have you noticed over the 38 years?
So that's a good question. So I've been, with Arbonne a long, long time, and many of you have been with Arbonne a long time as well. But so I feel that, the core things, the core foundations of our company, our product, the opportunity, the company, the community has all gotten better. That's what I believe. I believe our products are better than ever. I believe that our opportunity is better than ever. I think our community is stronger than it ever has been. And I can point to lots of small things that, that we've done, little tweaks here and there. Certainly we aren't perfect. It's just like you, just like I am. Arbonne is also, as a company, on a journey. But what makes it easier, a little bit easier, is that you are all such, you have such high expectations. I think our consultants are the most amazing group of people, and you expect a lot. And that means that you set the bar higher. And we always strive to meet that bar. So it's that benchmark that we can always strive for is set by you. And so I think that we're better in every way. The world is rapidly changing. We need to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve. And I'm very, very excited about, some recent developments in Arbonne with new owners, because I know that they are very much aware of that and keen on that, and making sure that we do become the very best company we can be. But I think in all respects, we are a better company than we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So, Stian, I'm going to wrap up I'm going to put the next two questions kind of together, because I believe that they kind of go together in some ways. But what do you believe is the key in creating this amazing Arbonne culture that we have? And then tell us about Groupe Rocher, our new owners, their belief and how it's parallel to not only our culture, but your father's vision.
Okay. So I love that question. Thank you so much. I think there's so many things that I think is in place to, that's cultural in Arbonne, that's important, that you should all embrace. But I think there's some things, so I think being grateful, being humble. I think my father was very curious. He was very asking questions, always learning. I think that is something we should embrace. I think being courageous, being not afraid. You can be afraid, but just do it anyway. And that's a message to consultants and district managers that are, just trying this out or trying to figure this out. Be courageous and don't be afraid. I think that's part of our culture. supporting each other. I love United Nations because you are a group coming together like this. I think it's wonderful. My father always talked about the golden rule: do unto others as you would like for them to do unto you. And we live by that. And I think that's something that is very important, in helping, sustain and create our culture. Be good and do the right thing, and be real, be yourself, be authentic, and embrace the journey, and always just allow yourself to grow. And so that's what I think are some of those common things about that makes us very special. Those are some of the qualities that I believe we have as a community, as a company, as individuals in Arbonne. And then just quickly about Group Rocher, I don't know, because I tend to ramble on, but I want to tell you all how excited I am, how thrilled I am about the recent acquisition of a company called Group Rocher of Arbonne. They bought Arbonne in March, I believe it was. And it's like a match made in heaven. Honestly, it's amazing. They started in 1959 as a company, and their whole thing was botanical beauty, skincare made from botanicals, which is what Arbonne was basically founded on as well. But what's so neat about them is that they have stuck so much to that. They've stuck to who they are, what they're all about. So their product is front and center of everything. I was just there together with some of the other Arbonne team in May. Just the most amazing experience. How they've taken what they stand for, what they believe in, just all the way through. And some of the national vice presidents that are on this Zoom right now, you'll be going to France with us next year to experience this for yourself. They also, for them, it's people first. That's funny. They talk about how, numbers don't build. This is Brice Rocher, who's the grandson of the founder. He talked about how numbers don't build businesses. People build businesses. So they have this understanding of, the value of people. And that is so aligned with what we are all about as well as a company. So when I heard about, because we knew that Arbonne was eventually going to be acquired by someone, and when I heard about Group Rocher and I got to know Group Rocher, it was very emotional, very special, because it is like we finally found a home after many years of being, not a family company as we used to be when my father owned Arbonne. And we're a family company again. Group Rocher is a privately held company. It's owned by this family that genuinely cares about Arbonne and cares about the people in Arbonne and want to bring out the very, very best in us. So I am very, very excited about that. And I don't know what else to say other than I'm thrilled how beautiful this situation is, and at the time it happened as well. It was perfect.
So, Simon, could you go ahead and close out our call tonight by telling everybody on the call what quality you have seen over the years that makes a national vice president, so that they can all be commissioned to go out and build that life for themselves? And also, as you finish out, tell us, as you close, what your vision of Arbonne is.
Okay. Thank you, Tammy. So one of the most obvious things that makes an MVP is that they have one thing in common, all of them, and it's that they did not quit. None of you quit, and you stuck with it, and you all found ways to succeed in this business. You persisted. I think every one of the MVPs on the call and every one of the MVPs in Arbonne knows that this business is not about me. It's about, it's out. It's about you. It's about us. And if you can make that shift, if you can actually make that shift and believe and know in your heart that when you think about others and take care of other people, that's when you will succeed. So you're doing it for the right reasons. Don't think about you. You will happen. Me will happen when you take care of you. Every MVP that I've met, they're accountable, they're responsible, they step up, and they've been able to adjust because it is different from a consultant to a district to area. to a region, to a nation, you have to be able to adjust. But everyone can do that. There's no magic in it. You just have to be engaged and with it and persist. And you have to reach out and talk to people that have been there, that know what it is. And you have to listen, and then you have to work. So, what's so nice about, we look at national vice president, oh my goodness, it's all of this volume. It's all these people, it's all these sales. But it's so much more than that, being a national vice president. And you only learn that by doing it, by journeying along that road. So I will just give it to each and every one of you. And I believe this with all my heart. Anyone can become a national vice president. You can be a national vice president with Arbonne when you apply yourself and when you persist and when you learn how to do it. And you do that over time. And so that's what I believe about that. About our future, about my vision for the future, I have to go back to a statement of purpose. And it's something that my dad wrote back in 1979. And it's very simple. And what I like about it, it was written 40 years ago, but it's completely relevant today. It's like modern. It is completely relevant. So I believe that we will continue to create and deliver amazing products. I see a wonderful opportunity with our product. So I will never stop innovating and delivering the kind of product that is going to change people's lives. And I also see that our opportunity evolving as society and as people evolve. Will be a much more global company. Right now, we need to take care of our existing markets. There's lots of wonderful opportunity in right where you are, and for us, that's important that we focus on that right now. But we are a global company, and we will continue to pursue going even more global. And then we need to make sure that we find ways to keep the business simple. And I believe also very important that we keep finding ways to make each and every rank in Arbonne, every position in Arbonne, to be attractive for people, so that people will seek those positions and those ranks. And that is an ongoing journey, an ongoing process that I'm excited about. And then what's most exciting and most important is what we will do as a community. And what we'll, so Cecilia Stahl talks about her vision for being the #1 network marketing company that gives back. And I believe that is what I believe as well. I believe that how we find ways to grow and how we stay strong as a community is going to be where it's all about. It filters from the product and the opportunity into our community, and I'm just very, very excited about what we're going to do as a company, as a community in the future, in the years to come. And it's interesting, we talk about our products being pure, safe, and beneficial. Everyone has heard about that. What I love about those 3 words is that applies to Arbonne. It's to every single thing that we do. Our product, our opportunity, our community, about giving back. We're pure, we're safe, we're beneficial. That's how I see us. We are the pure beneficial company. And I love that very much. And thank you so much for being on this call and letting me speak to you all tonight.
Thank you, Sion, for your time and pouring into us. You carry your father's legacy so beautifully, and may we all carry his legacy with you. So thank you again for your time, and thank you everybody for joining us for another amazing night to remember. Thank you, guys. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Stian. That was awesome.
Thanks, Kalida.
Very
Bye,
happy.
everyone.
And I believe and feel exactly the same way you do. I could not be more excited about where we are, because I feel like, and I've been telling everyone, my vision is we've come full circle and we're back to being the family-owned company with the culture and the vision for what we can do and be, but in a much bigger way. than what we were able to do it whenever your father started it. And everybody worked to get it going. And every phase of our journey has helped bring us to this point. But I feel like we're kind of at the pinnacle, even though I know we're just getting started, for where we're going to get to go. And it's just a super exciting time. And I thank you for still being here and keeping this culture that we cherish and will protect with you with all our heart, because you make this special. You really do. So thank you so much for giving us your time and for giving us your heart, because you make your dad proud, I know, still today, but I'm proud to say that I got to know him and that we get to do life with you. So love you.
Thank you, Kalita. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Stan. It's Tam.